you very much.
That's me. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go to a band that's been mentioned as well already, and that's by Mark. So we're going to Iron Maiden. And you can probably guess what I'm going to pick. The album I keep saying is my favourite, and my favourite opening track on the album, and track that should open every Iron Maiden show as far as I'm concerned. From Seventh Son, and it's Moonchild. Now, Moonchild has got to be one of the best intros ever. I mean, it's got 3 parts. I mean, it's got the acoustic passage at the start, and then it's got the build of the keyboards getting higher and louder and louder, and just waiting for the track to come in. And then when it finally crashes in with the drums and Bruce on that amazing opening verse, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how long the intro is, but it's worth it. You're waiting for it to start, and it's just a brilliant way to start the best Iron Maiden album that exists, in my opinion. And they have played it live. When they do play the song, they do open with it usually. But what song Moonchild is, it's fantastic, and a fantastic opening track. Intro.
I think it must be an age thing. This Seventh Son being the best album. It must be an age thing, surely. I don't know. Not
many people do think it's the best. I do.
But no, there is a lot of people that think that. There is. I mean, there was definitely a difference in them at that point as well, wasn't there? From probably the Somewhere in Time, actually, that you started to see the difference in Maiden. But nonetheless, it's a great album. I absolutely love that album. And a great, like I said, opening song. That's what it's all about, intro, isn't it? So this program. Mark, what you got, mate?
All right, I'm gonna try to set this up with a sound effect here. I'm probably gonna fuck it up, so bear with me here. And if you can figure this out, you get a gold star by your name. All right, you ready for this? Anybody?
Is that Warriors come out and play?
Yeah, who used it? Twisted Sister.
Oh,
come out and play.
Fantastic.
I'm impressed.
Very good.
I thought Shirley Dawn would get it. Well, I mean, you got the movie that it was taken from, but I thought the song would immediately come to your mind. Because I know you're a big Twisted Sister fan.
I do like them quite a bit, yes. I just had a brain fart. All I could think of was that little weasel in the movie.
Yeah. But anyway, that, like Dom said, that intro was taken from the 1979 Gangland movie, if nobody ever saw it, called Warriors. And that album starts off with the title track, Come Out and Play, and you hear it very faintly in the beginning, just the bottles clanking, then it gets louder, and then Dee comes in with that line. When the song kicks off, it's just bombastic. It's one of the heavier Twisted Sister songs, I think, especially of those later albums. Definitely the standout for me on that album. But that album kind of caught a lot of flack because of, the Leader of the Pack cover, and some of the more
cruel to your school.
Yeah, some of the more wishy-washy commercial stuff they did on it, but I always loved that album when it came out, and I still listen to it. So.
Did you specially buy glass bottles of Coke during the week?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be a 10 out of 10 in it for the effort as well, and the props. Absolutely brilliant.
It's hard to find glass soda bottles anymore.
You have to go to the pub usually.
You don't understand. I need it for this Twisted Sister.
It's funny. That's exactly what happened. My wife works at a general store that's a chain. It's kind of a throwback kind of store. They sell old fashioned stuff, and I actually had her buy me a 6-pack of those old school Coke bottles, and that's exactly what I told her. I told her what I was going to do with them, and she'll be very anxious to see how it turned out, because I've been talking about it for weeks.
What's your wife's name again, Mark?
Lisa.
Lisa. Yeah, come on. Well done, Lisa. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. Cheers, Mark, for that. Ralph, what you got, mate?
I'll go back another 20 years after 3. And it's a song by an English band, and of course you all know it's Slade.
Oh yeah.
Is Rock and Roll Preacher. Has this mighty church intro where Noddy Holder preaches with a lot of sort of like echo in it, and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up until it gets into that mighty hard rock riff that starts of Rock and Roll Preacher, Hallelujah, and you hear the Hallelujah in the background very often. It's also the album that has Lock Up Your Daughters. I would say it's the hardest album that Slade ever made, in the hard rock genre, if you want, and not just rock, but really hard rock. That was the first album of Slade that I heard, and then I went back into older stuff. But this is forever my my favorite Slade album, and the opening Rock and Roll Preacher is just mental. So it's a great song. I love it, and I hear it very often.
Mate, I mean, they're an institution in England. I mean, massive, like, especially like in the 70s, they were a big, massive, big deal. A bit like Status Quo, you know, an institution of this country, really. So, yeah, thank you very much. Cheers, I wasn't expecting Slade to be on here, to tell you the truth, and that's very cool indeed.
And I could have taken a couple of Status Quo songs, because Status Quo was the band that brought me into hard rock. And then later into metal. You know, I still remember my first show that I've ever seen in my life. That was Status Quo. And ever I'm a big fan.
Mate, I'm the same as you. Status Quo got me into all of this. But, some great intros.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, boogie, bit of 12-bar boogie. Can't be that.
Boogie.
Boogie. Yeah.
Boogie and Doogie.
Boogie and Boogie.
Doogie boogie. Right, okay. Dom, what you got there, mate?
Well, coincidentally, me and Ralph really. No, I've got The Sweet. My choice is a song that has been covered by so many people. This is Action, off of the Strung Out album. I mean, what? It's just a, and it's just got the harmonies. Do you want action? And it's another one of those where you just anticipate it just coming in. Fantastic stuff. But Leopard did it, and Black and Blue have done it, and Scorpions have done a German version, and Raven have done it. So it's been copied quite a bit, or covered quite a bit. So I think it does have that certain appeal to other bands. But man, it's fantastic. It's just, just the opening is just great. So
Steve Stevens did it too.
Steve
Stevens, Atomic Playboys. You're correct. Yeah.
That's the one I remember, apart from the original. That's the one I remember mostly.
Atomic Playboys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
So there you go. Oh, it's from the album Strung Out, 1975.
Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Karen, what you got?
All right, I'm going to do this. I don't know how many other fans of this band are here. I know Jam is one, but I'm going to go for Pink Floyd. How many amazing intros could you come up with by Pink Floyd? But my personal favourite is the intro to Run Like Hell from The Wall. The Wall is
that's my favorite Pink Floyd song.
Yeah, it's one of mine as well, and it's my favorite, one of my favorite albums of all time. The Wall is such a distinctive, immediately recognizable sound when that song kicks in. It's those echoey guitar effects that Gilmour does there, and I think the studio version is great, but it really comes into its own live when he does that kind of extended intro. You know, you watch Pulse and Delicate Sound of Thunder. And I was so lucky to be taken to see Floyd as a kid, again, around the age of like 12, 13, and watching David Gilmour on stage playing this intro to that laser show at Wembley Stadium. Well, it was the most exciting thing that had ever happened to me in my little life up until that point. So, yeah, I'm going for Run Like Hell by Floyd.
And then you met Jan.
I did. Well, I met Jan when I was 13 at school, so not long after that.
Yeah.
Right, we don't want to get into that on here. No, I mean, I saw a few nods there. Obviously, Dom likes a little bit of Pink Floyd. I saw.
I'm not a huge Floyd fan, but that just happens to be my favorite song of theirs.
I think looking at Todd,
and I think
he likes a bit of that as well. Go on, sorry, mate.
And I was just going to say, and I think that the Edge from U2 probably built an entire career from
copying that. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd, you a bit of a Floyd fan?
I can't say that I am, but I do love that song. I think that was one where their metronome actually did work in the studio, because every other song it's broken and it takes them forever to get through every song. But that is a good song. I do love that song.
Cool, very cool.
I could have gone for the endless intro to Shine On You Crazy Diamond, but no, none like hell. More concise.
Thank you very much, Karen. Todd, what's your third one, mate?
All right, we're on to the 1990s then. This is a U.S. band from Alabama, actually. And from 1993, this is their debut album. It's the band Brother Kane.
Oh, yeah.
And their track number 1 is Got No Shame. Starts out with harmonica. And I do like a bit of harmonica intro, especially in the intro. I mean, you got like Train and you got all those. I think it does add quite a bit sometimes to a certain style of song. But this is one, actually they had a blues guy named Topper Price come in and do the harmonica on the whole song. So it kind of he's all by himself at the beginning, and then he does carry the harmonica through the song as well. But this part of it's really, it's like I said, it's solo, and it's just an amazing harmonica solo at the beginning. And it was their first single ever, and I just think it was a great way to start the album. And the album itself is kind of uneven. I do like the album mostly, but that's one song, another upbeat song. And it does, if you like a little bit of bluesy Southern rock kind of, then this is a pretty good example of that. So Brother Kane, Got No Shame.
Cool. You know any of that, any of you guys? I don't know.
Oh yeah, this song was kind of big on US rock radio, at least, and I saw them on this too in a very small club. Damon Johnson has gone on to be, he's the singer. He was in Black Star Riders for quite a while. I don't know if he's still in the band.
That I don't know.
Yeah, but he's done other stuff as well. He was in another band. I can't remember what it was.
He was in that collaboration with a couple guys from Queensryche where they did "Slave to the System." That was a one-off. Was actually on my one and done list, was "Slave to the System."
Right.
Yeah, if you like Brother Kane, you'll like that, because it is a little bit. It's like that, but it's a little bit heavier.
And who from Queensryche is in that?
I think it's their rhythm section. I think. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, check it out if you haven't already. That sounds pretty good.
Cool.
Very cool. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Okay, my third choice, 1986. What's 1986, guys? What is it?
Best year in metal.
Best year in metal.
The best year in rock and metal, for sure, definitely. So I don't repeat myself, do I? At all? I'm getting older. So I'm going to the best debut album that's ever been recorded as well by a band in 1986. That's Tesla.
I know what it's going to be.
That's Tesla, and their best song, in my opinion, they've ever recorded, and that's Changes. So what a brilliant start. I mean, I'm starting to think, while you guys are all talking about, you know, especially when we talk about older songs, the care that seems to go into intros back, you know, how well written they were, and how much thought they went into them. This one was like piano start, obviously, and then you get that little sort of that little bit of guitar, almost really atmospheric in the background, a little bit of synthesizer, and then obviously Jeff Keith's amazing voice. And then it's just, again, like Dom's been saying, like we've all been saying, the anticipation for when a song actually comes in. it's just amazing. What an epic song that is from Tesla. It's almost like, you know, they almost brought their rock and roll feel a little bit later on, didn't they, in their albums? The more they went on, a bit more bluesy and stuff. It's really hard to explain this actual song. It's amazing. Just one of the best songs of the 80s as well. So Tesla and Changes. If you haven't heard it, where have you been for a start? And you need to hear it right now.
There's a number of great intros on that album, though, aren't there? I think.
Yeah, and they have an
It's
example of Mark's example where you start with a guitar solo on "Coming at You Not Live" starts
Yeah.
out with that.
Oh yeah.
Right,
What a brilliant song as well.
Brilliant.
That is, yeah.
Brilliant intro.
Hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you know, that's the first one that came into me was that Changes, but then I could have delved so deep into Tesla, it's just ridiculous. But
Yeah, Little Susie.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Easy Come, Easy Go is a great intro
Oh,
to
yeah.
the album.
oh my god, yeah, brilliant.
Getting
Anyway,
better.
yeah, getting
Talk about
better,
anticipation
yeah.
of getting better. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Anyway,
waiting for that.
Oh yeah.
this is like Tesla fanboy day, isn't it? This one is brilliant.
It is.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, that's the third round, I believe, all done. Now we're back to Jam for number 4.
Okay, I'm staying in 1986 actually, and I'm also going to a band.
Did you hear that it's the best year in metal?
Well, yeah, here we go. Must be. We've got 2 from the same year. I'm also going back to a band the Karen mentioned actually, Slayer, and it's got to be Raining Blood.
Yeah.
Title track from here. I mean, obviously it's very similar to Black Sabbath with the rain and all the sound effects of the storm and all that. Although also we're going even heavier here. And then just the beat and the guitar riff going into Raining Blood is fantastic. Always play it live, of course. And bookends this with South of Heaven, of course. They cover the long fade out of South of Heaven, and then they hit the drums for Raining Blood at the end for the end of their shows. Obviously, no more shows for Slayer anymore. But yeah, Raining Blood, fantastic. And obviously, we mentioned this on great last tracks on albums because it is the last track on the album, of course. Yeah, atmospheric, power, speed, got everything in this intro.
It's that kind
Slayer.
of banging on the door effect of the drums as well. That's really quite creepy. Yeah.
2 Slayers, 2 Slayer songs so far.
Well, that was actually my next pick.
All right, okay. Have you got some more? You can talk about it.
It frees up for me to talk about lots of something else, so that's great. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of the most exciting points in metal is especially when you see it live, and it's just bathed in red, and it's just dum dum dum. And just you just are shaken from them. Just can't wait for that. Yeah, just brilliant.
Yeah, I'm all excited now thinking about it.
I know it gets me all goose pimply.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to say that Dom's version of it there sounded a bit like an ice cream van, but it's still.
If I had an ice cream van, that would be my song.
That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. Thank you very much. Cheers, Jan, for your third choice. Right, up to Mark. What you got, mate?
All right, I can't believe this. I never expected this, but I'm going Slayer as well.
Wow.
And I've never mentioned Slayer on this show ever.
No.
Because I'm not the biggest Slayer fan. I freely admit, for the most part, they are a little beyond my taste, a little bit too far into the extreme. But Seasons in the Abyss is just
my favorite song of theirs.
Yeah, on mine.
Yeah, great.
Another long 2-minute intro, that slow, dirgy, almost Sabbathy intro, and then when it kicks off, I mean that fucking song would make the Pope bang his head. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Slayer fan in the world, but and I can't believe that everybody else is picking Slayer as well. But I start after everybody else had picked it, I started to move on to something else. But I said, nah, that was on my original list, and I'm gonna stick with it. So, yeah, awesome. I love that song. If all Slayer songs were in that pattern, I would be a huge Slayer song. That's probably the most. I don't want to say commercial by any means, but most
Well,
accessible.
it does actually have a chorus and
Yeah. Melodic, that's
and
what
it is
these
Yeah.
things,
mid-paced,
got
yeah.
melody. Yeah, I mean, I like heavy, but it's got to have melody, and that song actually has some melody in it. But
I said it on here before. I think you could even say Tom Araya's almost singing on there.
yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks, Mark. The third Slayer pick. Absolutely amazing. Cheers, mate.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Ralph, what you got, mate?
Yeah, it's not a Slayer song. And as I missed the show where you did the one and only albums, I was asking myself to bring in some Southern rock here as well. What would potentially be my most famous, or most like Southern rock song? And I could have picked, something from Molly Hatchet or from Leonard Skinner or 38 Special or whatever it is, even ZZ Top. No, I've chosen a song from a band called Copperhead. And they brought out an album in 1992, and I think it's their only album that they brought out. And it has some of the best Southern rock songs that I've ever heard. And the one that I've chosen is simply called Highway. And of course, many Southern rock songs are about highways and truckers and dust and dirt and oil and smear and whatever. But this song has everything for me that Southern rock is all about. And I love that band and I love that album when it came out in 1992. And unfortunately, they only had, as far as I know, they only had this one album. But it's one of the best Southern rock albums that I've ever heard. And some of the songs on there are just fantastic. And Highway is just my absolute favorite.
Do you know this one, Todd Boyle?
No, I'm not familiar. Is that are they inspired by Steve Earle? Because I know he had a Copperhead Road album, so I didn't know if they were.
No, they were just a standalone band, and that's the album Copperhead, and the name of the album was Copperhead too. So, and it's on most channels, so it's available. But it's the only album, and I can recommend the whole album. It has just fantastic Southern rock songs. You would really adore them. But Highway is just my absolute favorite.
Very cool. Love a bit of Southern rock, mate. So brilliant. Thank you very much for that. It's been a great week, actually, for new Southern rock. Still Woods brought a new album out. I'm sure you know about that, Ralph. And then Blackberry Smoke brought a song out as well yesterday. So very cool week for Southern rock as well, if you need a bit of that. There's my little plug for new bands. You can see. Okay. Over to Dom. What you got, mate?
Is it me?
Yep.
I hope so.
Okay. Even I've forgotten now.
It's not
Okay.
difficult. It's not that difficult.
It's for me.
That's one for Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna go with this. This was our very first All Killer show in 1980. This was my first pick, so I haven't talked about it since, so it's time to talk about it again. If anybody ever asked me what my favorite song of all time is, gun to my head, I'd probably pick this. This is Cheap Trick with Stop This Game from All Shook Up. It opens with just kind of a drone with Robin Zander's voice. Oh, I can't stop the music. And that goes on for a while, but then it just kicks into this fantastic. George Martin produced the album, who we all know is the Beatles producer. Shut up, Lee. Lee's favorite band, the Beatles. But it's got strings on it with a heavy riff as well, so it just punches. It's just the most exciting thing. And I had been seeing Cheap Trick for years, and I kept hoping that they would play that song. I'd never see them play that song, but I finally went to the Dream Police tour with the orchestra. So they did the whole Dream Police album, and then, whatever. And they actually played it. And with the orchestra, I mean, I could have just died right there. That would have been it for me. So yeah, stop this game from Cheap Trick. It still just excites me to no end.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thank you very much. And a lovely bit of singing as usual. Lovely when you do a bit of singing. Thanks for that, Dom. Karen, what's your fourth?
Right.
Choice?
I'm going back to the 70s for this one as well. It's the
Yeah.
second mention for this band, Judas Priest, and it's Victim of Changes.
Yes.
Sad Wings of Destiny. This is probably my favorite ever Priest track, and it is all about that intro, isn't it? That twin lead guitar intro that then goes into that riff, which is, I think, my favorite riff of theirs, probably one of my favorite riffs of any band ever, actually. And it's another song that I think comes into its own live as well, where they have to play the intro from the beginning rather than it just kind of drifting in as it does on the album. I love particularly the Unleashed in the East version of this, I have to say, even though it may not have all been recorded live, maybe. But it definitely Victim of Changes by Judas Priest.
Yeah, I think this is on the set list for tonight. So I think they did this at Bloodstock, so I'm sure they'll do it tonight as well, which would be good.
Excellent.
Just to wind Mark up even more and mention it
Sorry.
twice.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Cheers, Karen. Thank you very much.
What a track.
You like that? You like a bit of that, do you, Dom?
Oh, love it. Oh God, again, it's the anticipation.
Yeah.
Down, yeah, just great.
We definitely need to name that tune, name that riff. Right, okay. What you got then, Todd?
Well, I'm certainly not going to be able to sing this one, this riff. So this is from into the 80s now. So I'm on 1983. This is a band from the US, and they're from Louisiana, actually, but it's not Southern rock. I don't know if you're familiar with a band called Zebra.
Yeah.
And they had some big hits semi big hits in the US in the early 80s. But they're a trio, and the singer his name is Randy Jackson. He also plays the guitar. He's the guitarist as well. And the opening of this song, it's track number 5 on the album. Here's the album cover right there. And it's track number 5, and the song before it is called As I Said Before, and it kind of fades out, and then this guitar part kind of fades in at the end and of that previous song, and then it kind of builds, and then it's probably my favorite. I think it's the most beautiful acoustic passage in a song, acoustic guitar passage in a song I've ever heard. And it's probably a 12-string, I'm not sure, but I'm not a guitar player. But yeah, it's got this maybe 30 to 40 seconds of beautiful chords. Chord progression is amazing on this song, and then his voice comes in, and then they get into the normal acoustic riff of the song. But I just love the way this opens the song. It's I gotta everything. Shut up! The song is on. It's one of those. It's just amazing.
And if
So
anyone's
it's called,
the name of the song.
I forgot to mention the name of the song. Thank you. It's "Who's Behind the Door"
Yes.
by Zebra. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that I know the most as well. That's the one that got played on the radio all the time, and
Right.
People were
They
saying
also had another kind of big hit with "Tell Me What You Want." If you heard that, you probably recognize it as well. That's more of a rocking song, whereas this is more atmospheric and whatever. But it's I just love this song and the intro specifically.
Yeah, great song.
It's funny you should say that, Todd. Shut up. The song's on. How many of us, even though we've heard the song 1,000 million times, if someone talks or something, when you're just like, right, we have to put it back to the beginning now, then, won't we? You're like, your fault. It's your fault. But that's brilliant. And I like the way you mentioned acoustic guitar there. There's nothing like the sound of the acoustic guitar. When bands, I love it when bands, especially heavy bands, like bring an acoustic guitar in occasionally in their music. it just stands right out to me rather than a clean guitar sound. I love an acoustic guitar sometimes,
Right.
but no,
Agreed.
brilliant. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. I did say I heard of them, but I've never heard any of their music. I've heard of them, obviously. Zebra. If you live in Zebra if you live in England.
Zebra.
Zebra if you live here. So thank you very much, mate. Cheers for that. So my fourth pick, everyone knows I love Queensryche, so I'm going for a Queensryche song off their debut album. It's got to be "Take Hold of the Flame." Just an amazing intro. It's a bit like, you know, I think I was a bit blown away when hearing Jeff Tate's voice in that, when he just holds that note. It just, like, you know, blew my mind. It's almost like, I don't know, when you was younger, you guys, I always thought that bands who were really, when you heard something like that, I always thought it was cheating. And if you heard something that was that good, you just think, oh, it can't be real. You know what I mean? You was that young, you just think, like, how can anyone sing like that, or anyone can play the guitar like that? And I used to listen to that and think, wow. And then when you heard him singing it on the live from Japan, was it? I think it was the DVD they brought out.
Yeah.
And he literally just, whether they cheated on that or not, I don't know, in the studio, but he literally just, he sang everything just note perfect. Do you know what I mean? And he obviously is one of the Mount Rushmore vocalists, obviously, you know, I think just an amazing tone to his voice. But it's all about Jeff Tate, in it, that he's toned that lower range at the beginning of that, and then when he does that high note, it's like, man, how do you even do that? So Take Hold of the Flame, and he's a brilliant, one of the best songs, I think, of Queensryche. Absolutely brilliant. And the intro is just mental. Okay, I think we're on the last round, guys. We're on track 5.
We are. Yeah.
So we're back to Jam for track 5, mate. What's your last one?
Okay, I'm going to 1985, and I'm also, this is the one that I've heard the song too many times. I don't need to hear it anymore, but the intro is brilliant. But ironically, when you hear it on the radio, they cut the intro out and play the fucking radio edit, which cuts it all out. So it's probably guessed, it's Dire Straits, Money for Nothing.
Oh.
I mean, the original intro is brilliant. I mean, it's in 3 parts again. You've got the "I Want My MTV" bit that goes on forever, and then you've got a brilliant drum solo going into the iconic riff from Money for Nothing. But then I don't need to hear the rest of it. But it's just brilliant. When I was a kid, I was 11 in 1985, so I just wanted to play those drums and, you know, play that guitar, and I can't do any instruments at all. So unfortunately, I never managed that. But it's sort of, yeah, it was brilliant at the time. I loved it. Just a shame the song's being played. In fact, the whole album's being played too much. I think we talked about this before. Brothers in Arms is about the only song I can listen to these days, which is still really, really good. But yeah, it's a great intro, and it's such a shame they never play it when it's on the radio. They just go straight to the bloody riff. That's it. There we go.
You're probably like all of us when we were kids, when we're trying to like emulate a drum roll. We look like there's something wrong with us, and our parents think there's something wrong with us. No, I mean, I'm glad you didn't choose Walk of Life or something, because that would have been but thank you very much, Jam. That's a brilliant. We're going to get round to honourable mentions just by name, probably, but thank you very much for your 5th choice, mate. It's a brilliant list. Mark, what you got, mate?
All right, I'm torn here.
It's hard, isn't it? I'm kind of last one. I don't even know what to pick.
You know, I'm going to finish strong with Sabbath. I was originally going to pick an Ozzy song, but since Jam's already picked Black Sabbath, I wouldn't be me if I didn't pick a Tony Martin song.
He's going for the cats. Going for the cats.
So I think Karen will appreciate this one. Headless Cross.
Oh, yes.
The riff is astronomical, but that Cozy Powell drum beat that kicks it all off is just from another fucking world. Just thunderous. Sabbath always had the best drummers. I mean, Bill Ward, Vinny Appice, Eric Singer, Cozy, Bobby Rondinelli. I mean, they were just all phenomenal. But this drum beat on that song is probably the pinnacle as far as Sabbath drum sounds to me. Just like I said, it's just thunderous. Cozy could do no wrong as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, it's all very loud drum sound. He had the biggest bass drums, didn't he? 26-inch bass drums, just really, yeah.
Ooh,
It's
misses.
incredible sound. And I love that video as well.
Yeah.
Very cool. And it wouldn't have been the same, man. You had to have it. You had to have it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure maybe we would get like a Doogie in the honorables, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping for.
Actually, I don't think I've got any Doogie in this one. I
Um,
can probably think of one right quick there.
We didn't have Doogie, but we had Boogie.
yeah, we did. We had Boogie. We did. Thank you very much, Mark. Brilliant list as normal. Ralph, what you got, mate?
Yeah, I'm going back to 1981, and I was wondering what is my sort of most easiest, well-recognized metal riff of all times. It's actually from the debut album of the Michael Schenker Group, and it's called Ready to Rock. And it's an easy riff. I can play it on the guitar. And then you have these mighty drums from Cozy Powell coming in, and it's double bass that really gives the riff this extra oomph, and gets into the singing by Gary Barden, and that is my famous Michael Schenker Group, most famous Michael Schenker Group composition, I have to say, and whole album, but that opener, Ready to Rock, is just amazing, and I just love that song. I can't not rock to it. So,
Ralph? Where's your guitar?
My guitar is upstairs. I have 5 of them.
5.
Bloody hell.
That's what we need next time, mate. We need you to play a riff for us the next time, all right? That's all right. Nah, absolutely brilliant. Thanks as normal, mate. It's a brilliant list. Excellent. Okay, we're up to Don. What you got, mate?
Okay, well, boy. Okay, I'm going to go with this kind of out of left field for me, but it's just so brilliant. Rush Spirit of Radio from Permanent Waves. It's just that it's just so great. Amazingly, this was a top 20 single in the UK, which just blows my mind every time. Because I mean, it was big on rock radio, obviously in the US. Rush were quite popular. But they didn't have any like top 40 hits or anything.
No.
But for this track to go, I think it went 15 or 14 or something like that. That's just crazy to me. But
and that's when you had to go some to sell as well. You had to go some.
You had to actually buy it in the shops. Yeah. Yes. So my favorite line of jam in the entire history of our videos is anybody can like Rush. So I think he was trying to say, they're not difficult to get into, they probably have a reputation of being complicated and, just for prog nerds or whatever. But he's right. Anybody can like Rush. And and Spirit of Radio, that's as good a place as any. Opening is just, it never gets old. Fantastic stuff for Permanent Waves.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Brilliant list as normal. Very varied as well. So loads of cool picks there. Karen?
Right, my last one is the intro. It's actually to one of my favourite songs of all time, from one of my favourite albums of all time, by my favourite band of all time. And as Dom said, sometimes less is more, and it's not all about big statements. It's about anticipation and atmosphere. So I'm going with Ocean Cloud by Marillion from the Marbles album from 2004. It gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. It just starts with Steve Hogarth singing 2 lines just by himself, no music at all, and then you've got the sea, the sound of the sea in the background, and it's all calm. And this is a song about Don Allen, the Atlantic rower, and so you can hear the sea, and then this just very delicate, beautiful guitar intro by Steve Rothery. And I hear Steve Hogarth starting to sing, he's seen too much of life and there's no going back, and I just get goosebumps. And the song's 18 minutes long, or just under 18 minutes long. It starts very calm, and because it's about a man rowing across the sea, and then it gets very not calm in the middle, and it's a total soundscape of a song. I love it, and that's a great intro.
Thank you so much, Karen. Brilliant picks as normal. Thank you. Todd, mate, what you got on your last one?
All right. We're down to the 70s, or up to the 70s, whatever you want to say. So I'm a little surprised nobody else got this one already. It's a fairly it's kind of a no-brainer one, not very surprising. And I just want to preface this by saying my picks have all not been metal, and it's not that I don't love metal, because I'm kind of like Mark, is I love a heavy song as long as it has a melody to it, and I'm down. But it doesn't seem like I really picked much metal today, but that's maybe I'll have a couple in my honorable mentions. But anyway, so we went 1976. Everybody knows this song. Track number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Foreplay Long Time.
Yes.
Probably the greatest introduction of all time. Amazing keyboard at the beginning, and then the chords that come in, and little hi-hat, and it's just it's amazing that he was able to come up with, Tom was able to come up with this song, and it's really, the foreplay doesn't really have anything to do with Long Time, but it builds up nicely into it. And we've all heard this song way too many times, and I realize that, but to be honest with you, recently, the last 2 or 3 years, I've been watching a lot of reaction videos, and you see these young people watching music that we've loved all of our lives, and you see somebody reacting to this song, and they just are blown away. And it's given me a renewed appreciation for the whole album, but specifically that song. So yeah, Foreplay Long Time, 1976, from the Boston debut.
Oh man, I love Boston, man.
Fantastic.
I love Boston. Well, I mean, the first 3 albums probably I love, they are just brilliant. But you're totally right as well about the what you said about reaction videos there as well, Todd, especially when it's people that are say rap fans, and then they listen to something and they really appreciate it. It does make you think that way, for sure. So
I shouldn't care what they feel about it. It's not that it matters that somebody else likes the song, but it just is validating to some degree. Somebody that doesn't know anything about a particular song, and they listen to it and they're blown away by it. They just love it. And I'm like, yes, that is how I felt, when I first heard this song, and it's kind of validating to some degree. So I have been enjoying those. So obviously some people are better than others at it, but yeah, there's some really good stuff. And I just want to give Lee a shout out. I'm glad to see that Lee is doing reviews of new music that is in this style. I think you don't ever hear it on the radio, the stuff that he listens to, and I think it's really key to keep the music industry going the way we like it, for people like Lee to be promoting these bands, and so that we can get more familiar with it. So I really appreciate Lee's channel. We can talk about and appreciate and celebrate music from our youth, but we also all love new music, and because our old bands aren't going to be around forever. We're not going to be able to see them live, and so I want to be able to go see a band live, and so I can go see whoever it is, and keep music going, basically.
Thanks, man.
We love you, Lee. We love you. Don't cry.
Really appreciate that, and you're totally right. There's so much talent around, and it's a shame that there's people of our age that won't even give that a chance.
Right.
They're like, it's Coverdale, it's Dio, it's whoever it is. Do you know what I mean? And it's Metallica. There's no one else, and man, there's Dino Chalusic, there's Girish and the Chronicles, there's all these bands that have got some amazing metal singers as well, and just, it's a shame, but at least there's us, isn't it? We appreciate
Right.
it, which is cool. Thank you very much, mate. And thanks for the kind words as well. It's brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to the best year in rock and metal again, 1986.
Oh, gee.
Just to get it out there. This is a brilliant introduction to this band, and it was a statement of intent as well. And we've spoken about Kiss, and then now I'm going to speak about Vinnie Vincent. So, Boys Are Gonna Rock. What a brilliant introduction to this album. So that bit of feedback just coming in from the background, all of a sudden it's there. Then there's that sort of, I mean, the guitar playing on this album is amazing. It's very fast. I wouldn't say it's the most melodic guitar playing I've ever heard on an album. It's definitely not. He's saying, I am this quick. You've lost something that you're never going to have again. It's almost like it's almost what he's saying. And this album just blew me away at the time, and it does now. And the way that comes in, and then all the instruments come in, it's just Vinny going, "This is me. I don't give a shit." Basically, would you? I mean, Mark, you love Vinnie Vincent, and I think that
that was his fuck you to Gene and Paul.
It was his fuck, and it was a definite fuck you. It was almost like it blew my mind. And it's another album I heard when I heard Vinnie Vincent playing that in 1986. I almost thought he's cheating. He can't be playing that fast. He can't be doing that. And the way that comes in at the beginning, and then it's like a glam metal track in it, and it's heavy, and the high end vocals. It just blew me away. And it was a typical thing at that time, when it get the highest vocalist you can. Who can just scream, but he was my favorite vocalist, actually, even better than Mark Slaughter, I thought, but can't remember his name now. But
Robert Fleischman.
Robert Fleischman, perfect. Yep. So look, that's why you only need to ask on it. You don't even need Google on this channel. You know that? So Vinnie Vincent, Boys Are Gonna Rock, perhaps one of my favorite Vinnie Vincent tracks as well. I love that track. It's so heavy and so cool. It just strutted. It's a strutting song, isn't it? That one, just absolutely brilliant.
Strutting.
It makes me want to get my lycra trousers, go upstairs, put a cucumber down my lycra trousers, and just.
Oh, you don't need that, Lee. Come on.
Well, yeah, I do actually, but there you go. But no, that's it. That's my last one. Vinnie Vincent and Boys Are Gonna Rock. What a brilliant song and brilliant intro. So guys, that was great, but we're just going to run through a few honorable mentions. So
yeah,
either by title or one line about how we feel about it. So we're going to go to Jam first. You got any, mate? Of course you have.
Great list, by the way, Lee. Thanks for doing that.
Oh, thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, Lee. That was a great one.
Yeah, no, I haven't really. I struggled a bit with this, really. I mean, I probably, if I'd spent more time on it, I probably could have got some more. But I Love It Loud. I had South of Heaven. I thought of it. Also, Hell's Bells. It all came to mind when I was doing my list. So, but the only one I'm going to mention is another song that we don't need to hear anymore. But I do love "Sweet Child of Mine" riff. The opening riff of "Sweet Child of Mine" from Slash is amazing still. But yeah, don't need to hear the song. And that's it, really. I haven't got any more. There you go.
Wow.
Even saying "Sweet Child of Mine" made me reach to turn it off nearly. I was like, no, please don't say it. But no, you're right. You're right. That is a brilliant. It's a classic, isn't it? But yeah, we've all heard that too much. But no, great honourables as well, mate. Thank you very much. Mark.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned I had originally a Ozzy Sabbath track, and that was "Symptom of the Universe." I think that track is the birth of thrash metal. Definitely a proto thrash type song. Then I had Kiss, Black Diamond, my all-time favorite Kiss song. Love the way that starts out slow. It almost sounds like a ballad. Then Paul comes in with that soft opening verse, and then when it kicks in and Peter Criss just roars like a lion, the only Catman, the one and only Catman. Ted Nugent, Stranglehold. Striper, Yahweh. Van Halen, Pound Cake. Love the way that starts out with the drill. And Alda Nova, Fantasy.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Sound like something straight out of Star Wars. And then another one we're all sick of hearing, but I never get tired of it really.
Enter Sandman.
No. I'll just say it this way. Unterglieben Glauten.
No.
Oh,
sure.
yeah. I love that song. I can listen to that still.
Never get sick. That's one of the ones that I do not get sick of.
No, I don't either. That's a brilliant song.
And you have to have a song in every show that has at least a bit of cowbell. So that
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
checks that mark.
Yeah.
Excellent list, mate, of honourables. Ralph, what you got, mate?
Yeah, I still have a rather long list, but I'm going to choose a couple. Just my all-time favorite from Metallica is "For Whom the Bell Tolls."
Oh, yeah.
That would have, but I've chosen "Funeral Bell" from Black Label Society, so didn't go for that. My famous Primal Fear song, "Mind Machine," that has this wonderful sort of like back and forth, left, right, left, right, left, right guitar gimmick. I love just immensely. My most famous ballad, which has a long intro, is "I Believe in You" from YNT. That would have been a choice if we had done ballads. Styx, "Blue Collar Man."
Waka wah wah wah.
Wah, 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 wah. Then I had Malice, "Sinister Double," which I find is a great song. And I also had Lionheart, "Thine is the Kingdom," Christian metal band with the most perfect AOR song you can ever think of. It's so sweet. Hardline, "Dr. Love," would have been one of mine. And I'll stop with a song by Axe called "Silent Soldiers," which is one of my all-time favorites as well. And maybe as a very last one, I would have gone for "The Hellion Electric Eye" by Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you very much.
What was that second to last band you said? Was it Asp?
Axe.
Oh, right.
AXE.
AX. I had a couple of great AOR hard rock albums.
I remember
And
that.
It's the group of Bobby Barth that also played in Blackfoot for a while.
Okay.
So unfortunately, his political views are not mine. So, but it's about music.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, no political things on this channel. Anyway, Todd, don't worry about if you haven't got any metal. Ralph always brings the metal, mate.
There you go.
Plenty there, mate. Don't worry about that.
Regarding Axe, I would have gone with "Rock and Roll Party in the Street." That was probably that was the biggest hit I think in the U.S. and that has I love the piano at the beginning of that.
And also Heat in the Street and some others are just classics.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated for your list as well, mate. Thank you. Right. Dom, what you got, mate? Any?
Dom. Right. Okay. So here we go. Megadeth Peace Cells.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Classic opening. And for the Americans out there, that was the opening for Headbangers Ball. So every time you watch Headbangers Ball on a Saturday night, it was doom, 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 doom. Now my Tesla pick was Heaven's Trail. Because that riff is kind of off kilter. But then when you start singing, it changes rhythm. And then when that drum beat kicks in, forget about it. Fucking amazing. I've mentioned that Scorpions Can't Live Without You is my favorite Scorpions track, and that has to do with the opening as well. That's just such a great
one.
Yeah.
2,
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And live they really stretched out that opening. It goes on for, he's all or whatever. Fantastic stuff. And I'll close with one of my favorite bands of all time, The Cult. And I've picked Firewoman. That's just such a classic opening. Billy Duffy's really underrated guitarist, I think. And that one just builds as well until it gets to the riff. So yeah, there you go. I'll stop there.
Tom, you're going to see Death Cult?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you might.
Thank you very much, mate. Brilliant list as normal. Karen, what you got? What prog have you got for us? Come on.
I've got a bit of prog in here, but not too much. I could have gone on forever with this list. So I've just limited it to a few. There's one that had to be in there, obviously, and that's Stargazer by Rainbow. I just debated forever whether to put that on my list or not, but I thought I wanted to mention Martin Axelrod from Opeth instead. So Battery by Metallica is one of my, that's my favorite Metallica intro, with that kind of whole Spanish guitar effect in the beginning. Keeping it very simple, but immediately recognizable. Mama by Genesis. That's one of my favorite intros.
Favorite Genesis song.
Yeah, it's mine as well. Well, from the Phil Collins kind of era. So I might get a bit of a ribbing for this one. The wonderful bass intro to 46 and 2 by Tool. That's a fantastic intro. Justin Chancellor, brilliant bass on that.
It's an 8, Dom, just in case you don't know that one, it's 8.5 minutes long, that intro.
Remarkably short for Tool.
That's just the intro.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep Purple, you could have many, but I picked Lazy. For that phenomenal keyboard intro by John Lord, and Tesla's Coming At You Live, mentioned the album already, and Resurrection Mother by the Almighty for that kind of organ effect in the beginning. That's fantastic. So I'm going to stop there.
Thank you very much, Karen. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Todd, what you got, mate? What good news have you got for us?
Well, I had about 70 on my list, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to obviously go through them all, but I do have a few that I wanted to mention. So War Pigs, love the beginning of that. The siren at the beginning. You got Molly Hatchet's Flirting with Disaster. Really cool way to start that song. Bad Motor Scooter. It's kind of short, but it's killer. I mean, and I love Motley Crue's use of it as well, but you gotta, if you're gonna talk about it, you better talk about Montrose. So Heart's Crazy on You, I love that acoustic intro to that. It's beautiful. AC/DC Kicked in the Teeth. You're gonna have Bond saying two-faced woman with your two-faced lies to start out a song. How can you go wrong there? That's good. You got nobody picked Am I Evil?
Brilliant.
You know, that's pretty killer. Giants, I'm a Believer. That's another one where the solo at the beginning of the song. Outstanding. And let's see, we got and then Warrant's Uncle Tom's Cabin. I like the acoustic guitar. You talk about acoustic intros. That's a really good one. I don't think that anybody in the band played it. Because at the time, I don't think they were capable of doing that, but it was a really good intro to that. But and then I got my 5 favorite bands of all time are AC/DC, Queen, Iron Maiden, Night Ranger, Triumph. So we got to go with one. I already said the AC/DC one, so let's go with the Queen. Dead on Time is a really hard rocker from the Jazz album, and it starts out with some really cool Brian May chords to lead into that track, and it's a really blistering kind of song. It's never, on any hits collection or anything, but I think it's one of my favorite Queen songs of all time. Let's go with Iron Maiden. You could go with several songs. I actually like the intro to Heaven Can Wait. I think that's kind of a cool start to that song. If we're going to talk about Night Ranger, there's a song called Play Rough that's on their debut. It's got a soft opening, and then it builds into the riff in that. That's one of their heavier riffs from their early days. And if you talk about Triumph, you got When the Lights Go Down. It's another acoustic slide with Rick Emmett playing at the beginning of that song. Just love that and how that starts out, and again it builds into a really cool riff about rocking in a show. So great stuff. And I could go on, but I'm going to be quiet because everybody that's watching this is like, why doesn't he shut up? So, all right, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Mate, brilliant list, and you're definitely, if you want to, invited back again for sure, for any of our future shows. So absolutely,
I would love
brilliant.
it. I would love
absolutely
it.
Brilliant, mate. Oh yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, mate. Before I go on to my list, I just cut. So my lovely wife Sarah has asked me to. I don't know if she's really thinking of a great intro to this, but I think she just thought, I want you to mention this song, and if you don't, I'll kill you. So it's The Cult and She Sells Sanctuary. She just loves everything about the song, including the intro. And Darren, I thought I would just mention this for Darren, even though he hasn't asked me to, but it's a great intro, so I was included it in mine as well. Jukebox Hero's got to be absolutely fantastic by Foreigner. I know he'd love that. So my list would be Y&T, Forever. Just love that intro. And it begins and ends the same. Dokken, we've already mentioned Unchained the Night Mark. Brilliant. Journey, Separate Ways. I just love the synth at the beginning. Just as soon as it comes on, it's like, yeah. I know we've mentioned this leading up to this. Was like an example of a great intro, but Lay It Down by Rat. I had to mention.
Yeah.
Oh, just brilliant.
If we were going to do a riff show, that would probably be in my riffs. I would have.
Yeah,
I would say so. Yeah. Monkey Business by Skid Row. Just love that.
Oh, yeah.
Before, just a lovely quiet opening before it crashes in. Down, Bury Me in Smoke. It's about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of just heaviness before it kicks in. I've got Wild Child by Wasp. I just love that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just brilliant. Armored Saint, Can You Deliver? I just love the riff and the whispery sort of bit at the beginning. Def Leppard, I know this might be a bit of an unusual one because they've probably got loads of riffs, but there's something about the beginning of this, and that's Coming Under Fire. Just love that, the beginning of that song. Whitesnake, Love Ain't No Stranger. Just the Coverdale just giving it large at the beginning. Phantom of the Opera, Iron Maiden. And I had to get the last one is Iced Earth and Plagues of Babylon, which I've spoken about on previous shows with great intros to albums and that, but that is just one brilliant intro.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right.
We got there.
We got there. That was brilliant. That wasn't too bad considering there's lots of people and lots of choices. So absolutely brilliant, guys. Did you enjoy that?
List from everyone.
Yeah.
Really good list.
And we didn't even have Eye of the Tiger or Turn Loose or something like that. There would be so many more.
There's so many more. And obviously, Todd, if you're itching to get more out, put it below the video, mate. It's not a problem. I'm sure you can
not expand it if they want to. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else who wants to obviously put their list below, don't matter how many you put, just put, remember it's great intros, doesn't matter what the intro is, doesn't have to be a riff, it can be anything, but that bit, that as soon as it comes on, that's it for you. It just sums it up. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for waking up early, you two as well. Really appreciate it.
Yes, much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you think you'll break this up into two?
Maybe it's going to be about 1 hour and 35 minutes or 40 minutes. So probably, I reckon so. But hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope everyone who's watching enjoys it as well. And I'll see you soon.
See you soon.